Yeah. So, hello, this is Zach Cope and Ben
Yep.
DeGeorge.
I'm Zach. You're Ben
I'm
DeGeorge.
Zach.
All right. We'll go with that.
You're right. Okay, I'm Ben. You're Zach. I won't. Okay. Um. Uh. So this is a segment. You and I both went through a very hard thing at the same time.
Mhm.
We both got divorced, not from each other, but we both got divorced at the
We'll
same
never
time.
be divorced from each other, Ben. We both know that's
No,
true.
no, no. We're never gonna get divorced.
We're together forever.
I'm married to you forever, man.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we both went through a divorce at the same time, and I think that brought us really close. It's kind of amazing how our friendship got a became much deeper, very very
Yeah.
deep because of that experience. And I think that we really got to know each other through that,
Yeah.
in a way that you and I didn't have that same deep connection prior.
Yeah.
I think that we both tried to take a very healthy approach through it. I know you did for sure. I admired your process. What? How did you do it? How did you get through it in a healthy way?
Um, I think mostly there was just a desire to understand myself and
Yeah.
and looking at it as an opportunity. So,
Mhm.
um, you know the hard thing for me was my kids, and
Yeah.
I was so excited to be a dad and to be with them every day, and for that not to be the case, to have my children half the time was probably the most challenging aspect of it for
Sure.
me. But I also saw it as an opportunity to figure myself out more, and to grow as a person and better myself. And I never wanted to look back on getting married and my marriage as a failure either. I just looked at it as a something that I learned from, and there was a lot of wonderful things that happened in it, and there was a lot of things that weren't as wonderful. But I, you know,
Right.
learned from it, and I wanted to grow from it, regardless of anything else. And I learned to kind of forgive myself and my ex-wife, pretty early on, and then just focus on growth. So
You seem to also have you have two kids, and you had two kids at
yeah,
the time. Benny was very young at that point,
yeah,
and that probably made it even more of a priority for you to make sure that you did this in a respectful way, in a positive way, right? I mean, I'm sure that made it harder though.
yeah. Well, and the business that I had, my ex-wife was a owner in as well, and
Right.
then we tried running it together as partners, and that didn't really go well. There was enough for us to work on trying to be
Right.
co-parents and do that as well as this other piece to
Mhm.
it. And I just did the best I could, but yeah, it was a major challenge. And like I said, that was the hard part, is the kids, and that I wasn't with them every day anymore. So
Right.
uh, but you learn too that that's an opportunity, right? Like, so there's days when I'm with them, and then I can be more appreciative and grateful that I have that time, and be more focused on them when we have that time together. And then when I don't have them, it's an opportunity to get to work and work on myself, becoming a better person, and work on my business and making that better. So once you just change the mindset to this is an opportunity, then it makes it easier to see places where you can kind of get through something in as positive a way as
Yeah.
possible.
Hmm. I've always, I guess, whenever I've gone through something hard, I haven't had the same level of. I don't have kids, so when I'm going through something hard, I seek a lot of social support. You know, which I'm fortunate. Right now I'm in Rochester, where you and I
Yeah.
are from, and so a lot of people that that I know very well, that you would know very well here. So that's huge for me. So I feel very fortunate that I have that as a resource. It's a lot
Well,
harder for you, I would imagine, and it was in the beginning because you were in a new city. But you also make friends very fast.
yeah. So one of the another so first and foremost, our friendship in that it got
Yeah.
deeper and we worked through a lot of stuff
Oh yeah.
together was really helpful. That was huge for me,
Huge.
and I really appreciate you in that.
Thanks.
And kind of working through that stuff together. And just because you didn't have kids didn't mean
Yeah.
what you were going through was any easier than what I was.
No.
It was just a different journey and different kind of questions surrounding ourselves and what we needed to kind of work on and how we needed to look at things. But that was a challenge actually, was that a lot of the people that I was friends with were couples because I moved out here to Portland with my ex-wife, and there were couples with kids. And a lot of times, she was home with the kids and I was working, and a lot of the relationships were more her with the other mom and then us dads on the weekends, you know.
Yeah.
And I lost a lot of those relationships within the divorce too. You don't think that happens, but it definitely does in that
Sure.
situation. So one huge thing for me is I found a couple dads groups to be a part of, and
Nice.
and that was a new thing. And so every Tuesday night I'd go to dad's group with my kids, and there'd be other dads there with their kids, and most of them were still married, not going through a divorce like I was, but it was just a place to connect with other men who really cared about being a father. And that, again, that social support, that piece was really important. So, and then the other dad's group I was a part of was without kids. So it was just dads that would get together once a month
Yeah.
and, hang out. There was a few more divorced dads there that kind of understood what I was going through or had already gone through it. That was helpful. So yeah, definitely social support is a big piece of it.
I bet a men's group is probably very, very, very useful in our lives. I'm sure that was huge for you, right? I mean, did you get as much out of it as I would think someone would?
Yeah. So what was neat about both of those groups is really like they were dads groups. So it was all men who were fathers, and I don't think a father joins a dad's group unless they're committed and care about being a dad. Like
Right.
it's just not a thing that happens. So you're surrounded by other people who really take that role
Yeah.
seriously, and but still, fun guys that are enjoying to be around, but can kind of like talk about dad stuff. So
Sure.
that part of it was really helpful. And like I said, the hard part for me in that transition was really around my kids. I mean, with what was going on in my relationship, it was pretty. There was a lot of relief in the relationship ending, but a lot of a lot more challenge around the piece with my kids. So
Yeah, that's amazing. Again, that you and I went through it at the same time. It was so funny. I remember like when we first, I actually remember where I was when we first awkwardly told each other we were going through it.
yeah,
And I was actually outside the warehouse over here, walking through the development, like walking at the median area where there's some grass. I was
yeah.
on the phone with you, and somehow one of us brought it up, and we happened to be both going through something.
Yeah, I don't
It
even
was
remember
so
which one of us
strange.
mentioned it first, but I kind of remember that
I don't
first
know.
conversation or
Yeah.
conversations. And
Yes.
I it might not be correct, but I feel like I was in my, I lived in my shed mansion for a while. The house that I had with my ex-wife, there was a shed in the back corner of the property that I moved into, and I liked it back there. It was nice.
I remember you saying you're like, yeah, I had to go pee, and I went to go pee in the backyard, and I think there was like a skunk though, so I have to be careful for the skunk.
That was in the
And then
middle.
you were
Yeah,
also
that
like,
was in
and I
the.
go take showers at the YMCA. I was like, yeah, I get it. I'm living in a Motel 6, like, dude, you you were.
I could
Am I
go in
correct?
the house. I could go in the house to shower,
Oh,
but I got a gym membership, so um, I didn't always have to.
it's better.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. I knew you could. Okay, yeah.
yeah, yeah. But the skunk story is real. I wasn't gonna walk all the way into the main house to use the bathroom in the middle of the night, and then all of a sudden one night I'm, peeing in my backyard, and there comes the skunk running towards me, and I'm like, oh boy, and jump back inside my shed pretty quick.
Peeing outside is one of the pleasures of life. Truly.
We'll have to do a whole nother segment just on that, Ben, I think.
All right, that's it.